Hello and welcome to another episode of MyRightCar. Today I'm taking for a test drive the 2020 Toyota Prius Hybrid. Now, before we get started, please take the time to subscribe to the YouTube channel and then you'll get any alerts every time we post a brand new video to our page. Also remember to share and subscribe with your friends that you feel might actually like this review. Right, like I said, this is the 2020 Toyota Prius and it is a hybrid. Now, as many of you may know, the Prius C is actually being discontinued here in Australia, but this is actually the Prius base model, which is continuing in Australia. And to be honest, I'm mildly impressed. Now, what you probably already know about a hybrid is that with hybrid cars, the engine works in conjunction with a battery, thus saving petrol and increasing the fuel economy of the car. Ooh, listen to that beast starting up. That beast you can't hear is a 1.8 litre four-cylinder hybrid engine, and it's quiet. The Toyota Prius was the first of its kind hybrid car for Toyota back in 1997. It was originally launched as a concept car in 1995 at the Tokyo Motor Show, and 2 years later it actually finally came into production and was available for consumers. It was at the time an absolute revolution in terms of fuel-saving technology. A hybrid system that actually worked in conjunction with the engine and a battery to be able to increase the amount of fuel economy was absolutely mind-blowing. And what you'll find with the Prius is that the fuel economy is impressive. 3.4 litres per 100 kilometres. Now that's not bad. And in terms of price point, hey, you're looking at a reasonable price for something that in the long run is actually going to save you a significant amount of money on petrol. This car has a silky smooth feel about it, just almost glides, and especially with the quiet nature of the hybrid engine, it's almost like an element of luxuriousness, but just in a standard road car. Now, I know what you're thinking. The Prius has never been and is not really the best looking car around, but that is not the purpose of this car. This car is all about practicality and basically the fuel economy and the environmental impact that Toyota is trying to minimize on the world today. And I have to say, they're on the right track. The amount of money that you can save actually running a Toyota Prius is quite significant. Just listen to that loud roar of the battery.
Oh yeah, did I mention that this car was quiet?
Pretty impressive how quiet these cars are.
Oop, there it is. Well done, Tim.
The styling of the Prius model has pretty much kept around the same styling over the course of the years. As per Generation 1 Prius, it has that higher back end and the lower front end. It's pretty much the Prius trait, if you will, in terms of styling. It works better in this car than it has in previous models, I have to admit, but there is one fundamental flaw that I will go through with you shortly. The interior of the car is modern in typical Toyota style. It has a series of curves and angles that all seem to work quite harmoniously together. Something that I'm not exactly a fan of is having the digital speedo in the center of the dashboard, and I'm putting the right hand indicator on right now, but I wouldn't know visually if the right hand indicator is on without looking up onto the center of the dash, so not overly thrilled with that.
It's funny, throughout the course of the review, I did however get more and more used to having the digital instruments in that location, and by the end of my time with the car, it was just second nature. The interior is surprisingly spacious for the size of the car. The Prius just seems to have a clear, defined purpose, efficiency and effectiveness. And this interior is effective, easy to get in and out of, and it seems to have the correct balance of technology.
So we've talked briefly about the exterior of this car. The exterior and the shape of the car does take on quite a classic Prius feel, and I was discussing earlier how high the back boot is, and basically that actually has an impact on when you're driving in the driver's seat. The vision is quite limited. There's a bar almost at the back, and if you take a look back at the rear of the car right now, you'll see it looks like a black glass on the back of the car. That's actually tinted glass, and that tinted glass I can see out of at the back here. Check this out for vision out of the rear view mirror.
Yeah, that bar is quite annoying. At least the car's quiet.
The vision out the back, not great. However, and this is a big however, the vision out the front and the sides and through the rear view mirrors is quite substantial, so it actually almost compensates for not being able to see so much out the back. The rear view mirrors are not the biggest rear view mirrors I've seen, but you seem to be able to get a decent view out of the sides of them. And then the glass here in the cabin, it's almost space aged. You have a very good view out of the front windscreen, which it's crystal clear. And then when you're looking around on the sides, the glass is quite long, it's quite high from the base going up to the top of the window, so you actually have a very, very good sense of what's next to you. The only other criticism that I would have in terms of the view, if I was to look over my left hand shoulder, there is a significant sized bulkhead down towards the rear of the car. Yeah, it's not great, but you be the judge of that. Take the time now to just pop down underneath the screen there and click the subscribe button so that you can be alerted every time MyRightCar posts a brand new review. Just remember, the more subscribers we have, the more reviews we can produce. There is no doubt that the Prius base is an impressive car. It is very much a car all about fuel economy, all about practicality, and basically the styling, well, I'll leave the styling up to you. But if you're looking for a car that's practical, reliable, can have kids in the back, actually has awesome fuel economy for long distance journeys, as well as saving a massive amount of fuel on low kilometre journeys, which is what this car is all about, using a lot of the battery, then you really need to check out what Toyota has to offer in terms of the Prius, because I think you're going to be pretty impressed. And welcome to another episode of MyRightCar. That is a loud helicopter.